We didn't film.
We didn't do anything, to be fair.
We really didn't.
We say this a lot, but I think we were going through it a little bit. I know I was personally, but
yeah, definitely. We definitely both were. I know that for a fact.
We had a lot to be like, we both went back into lockdown. You guys went back into lockdown, right?
Oh, yeah. So you guys did too?
Yeah. I wouldn't say we went into lockdown. Like, kids are still at school and stuff, but like we closed a bunch of stuff and restaurants are closed and all that again. So yeah, we've just been not doing anything, and I've been a little stressed about this pandemic, and
very stressful time.
Yeah, it's not fun, that's for sure. So today we missed a week, and now we're doing the bare minimum of an episode.
James Charles, I just want to say that you're and I literally hope you go to jail. And I genuinely don't like you. And if I see you one day, I'm spitting in your face.
There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. I have nothing to add to that.
In the future, you should make a compilation videos of how many things I say to cut out in the podcast.
Cut that out.
Cut that out.
That's so funny.
For our 1 year anniversary, how many things Aria's asked me to cut so that she won't get in shit.
I just put all of the things in a video, like problematic.
I think like 4 hours long.
Yeah, something like that. That's for sure.
Well, like I can't help it. He's disgusting. Hope he drowns.
Yeah.
No, like, right. I hope he drowns in a pool of boiling pee. I'm quoting.
That's disgusting.
I'm quoting Chanel number 2. Yeah, I'm quoting Chanel number 2.
I haven't seen Scream Queens in a long time. That was so out of nowhere.
When they buried her, and she went and said sorry to Chanel. I didn't put on lip gloss before this, so I might as well just do it now.
Yeah, go for it. Well, I'll watch you put on your lip gloss.
I use the same clear lip gloss. It's like, oh no, but it's not too sticky, and it tastes like the cotton candy fraps from Starbucks.
Interesting.
They're really good.
Interesting choice.
Thank you. Yeah, they're like $2 at Showers.
Oh, good to know. I don't really use lip gloss, but
you look good when you do that.
Thanks. I mean, so do you. So
I know. Okay. So, how else have you been before we start? Just want to do a little check-in.
I've been decent. I've been okay.
Get that money back?
Oh, yes, I did.
Good.
Yeah, I had no clue what you were talking about for like 5 seconds. I was like, what are you talking about? Yeah, I did.
So, guys, Trisha bought a sweater from someone on Where Trish?
It was super radical sweater, and I bought 2 technically. I got one, and my other one never came. So
that is so shitty.
Yeah, which doesn't make any sense. Like, just send them together, but whatever. Really it's done. It's over with. Everything is fine. I got my money back. It was $100.
At least you got your money back.
Yeah, exactly.
I ordered. Okay, this is like an embarrassing story. I ordered a bunch of Travis Scott shit, and I never got it. And I didn't buy it off of his website, so I should have known.
You can still get your money back. I literally can't even
find the website.
Really?
Not even kidding.
Wow.
I was so fucking mad because I bought a sweater, and that song reminds me so much of myself. So I'm like, okay, that's like my song. Like, I need this. Like, it's been my song since it came out. Like, I've loved it. It's my favorite. It's like my favorite Travis Scott song. Like, I don't listen to any of his songs as much as I listen to Highest in the Room. Okay, so I think we should get started. So, Trisha, baby girl, this is your time to shine. You know that, right? This is your time to shine. This is your episode.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you're taking the wheel on all this shit.
Okay.
Because I've seen most of it, but I haven't watched it as many times as you have. By the way, if you guys didn't clue in, we're doing American Horror Story.
Yeah,
I stopped watching it.
Really? You didn't watch it?
I didn't watch 1984 because at the time it came out, I just wasn't really watching TV. It was a very stressful time for me. I was not watching TV. I would watch the Trailer Park Boys, and that's it. It was a comfort show. I would watch that and watch mid-90s.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like 2019, like, is all I watched. When the fuck did 1984 come out?
Like,
because I first stopped watching an Apocalypse. Yeah. I stopped watching an Apocalypse. I did not. I watched a couple episodes with like Natalie, but like I never actually watched all of it, and I just didn't vibe with it. I didn't vibe with like the crossover. Like it confused me. Like I never really understand shit like that. Like when I was younger and they used to do like Hannah Montana crossovers, I used to fuck with that shit because it was like cool. It was like shows that like I'm watching, but like if it's crossing over with the season that came on like very early into the show, like I don't really remember a lot of like any season, like unless like it's like my favorite cult is my hands down my favorite season. I hate Roanoke most. Roanoke is so, I fucking hate it. I seriously have never hated something like a season of something as much as I hate that season. Like all fucking Shelby fucking bitch and complain about Matt, tell him to leave, and then she wants him to come back and she's fucking crying for him at the end of the episode. Are you fucking kidding me? No. Like season 6 and season 7 were not good to Sarah Paulson. Like she was a fucking crybaby. And I did not like it. I hated it. I hated it so much. I just like would look at her and I'm just like, hey, get this bitch the fuck off the screen. Like, please. Someone needs to send her somewhere. Like, fuck.
Oh my God.
I don't know.
You have a lot of feelings about Roanoke.
I have a lot of feelings. I don't like Roanoke. It upsets me. I don't like Shelby. She irritates me and I want to hit her. That into those 2 seasons, even though season 7 was impeccable. Like it was so fucking good. I fucking loved it. But like season 6 just was not good for her. Like, okay, acting wise, season 7, like she knows what she's doing. Like she knew exactly what she was doing when she played Allie. But I just can't. Season 6 pisses me off.
From like November 2020 to like January 2021, all I was watching was American Horror Story. Like I rewatched every season. So my mind is super fresh on all of this stuff. I made a list back in December of my favorites, but it's changed. I'm looking at it now and it's just wrong. But I guess I can go off that list because it's kind of almost right. My top 4 are really hard to differentiate, like specifically 2, 3, and 4. My first one is obviously my favorite, will forever be my favorite every day of my life. I think about it. 2, 3, and 4 are like, they kind of fluctuate depending on what mood I'm in. And the rest are just, they're good, but they're not the best. And then number 9 is the worst. But do you have a list or are you just going to go off the top of your head?
I'm going to go off the top of my head.
Okay. Should we start from least favorite season to favorite season? Or?
Definitely. Yes. Least favorite season, Roanoke. Like I said before, shit fucking just sucks. So stupid. All fucking Shelby does is cry. Like, you're sitting here crying about someone that you asked to move, like, to leave? It's like, shut the fuck up. Go, like, get help or something. Like, Shelby, like, it was mental illness. Mental illness this girl had. It was I don't know. I couldn't watch it.
My least favorite was Asylum, which is a very unpopular
opinion. I thought it was going to be Murder House.
No, it's Asylum. I just didn't get into it. It was I can agree with everyone that it was a good season. It felt like way too long. It took me like so long to watch it, and I was kind of bored the whole time. I wasn't really
like every time I'm gonna admit I've never watched Asylum. I've tried to sit down and watch it, but I just can't. Like there's like I like okay, most of the shows I start watching I end up really liking. But then there's like points where like I get sick of them. So like with American Horror Story, I like that every season has like a different storyline. But I, for the life of me, just couldn't get into Asylum. It was just really boring to me.
Me personally, it was just I wasn't into the concept. No. I liked it and it was good, and it was the directing, obviously, whatever. Like it's great season. Every season of American Horror Story is good. It was just my least favorite concept. Yeah. So what is your next one?
So my next one would have to be Hotel. And okay, I liked Hotel, but there were just like points where like it made me uncomfortable and I just like couldn't like watch it. Like honestly, like I watched like most of it. Like I watched like a good portion, and then like I kind of like me and my mom just like didn't finish it. But like I did watch it, and like I watched like a couple of episodes, and like they were okay. But it was just really, really weird to watch like Lady Gaga in that. It fucked with my mind. Like it was so like I was like, what?
It's hard to separate Lady Gaga from her character.
It is. It's like you see that and then it like scars you mentally for like life with her. Like obviously like not mentally, like it does not have any effect on like me, my mental well-being. It's just like on my conscience, and I'm just like looking at her. I can't look at you the same, girl.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I thought that with the meat dress, but I got over it. But this, I can't look at this and be okay. It's fucking scary.
Interesting. My number 8 is 1984, which I would go back on now. Like I would totally change my list, but I think I put it there because it was like like I had just seen it for the first time in like December. So I wasn't like into it. I didn't want to watch it because I thought it was going to be boring. It was going to be like typical camp horror vibes, but it wasn't. Well, it kind of was, but it was better. And it was actually really enjoyable. And I really liked that season. You should watch it.
I have been wanting to rewatch American Horror Story for some time now. So I'm home for the next couple of weeks, I think. And I'm thinking I'm going to watch it.
You should. 1984 was like, I love the 80s vibes. And the theme song was super cool. And it was just a really cool story. Like it was just nice to watch something completely different than all of the other seasons. It was refreshing.
Okay, so number 7.
7.
Wouldn't it be 6 for me? Because I haven't watched any of the newer seasons. Okay, so number 6 for me, it's gonna be a really unpopular opinion. Coven. Honestly, as much as I love that season and it's very near and dear to my heart, I literally don't see the hype around it. I just look at it and I'm like, it's not really anything to be that hyped about. It's just like, what is the hype about? What is going, like, what is this? But yeah, I just really honestly feel like it wasn't that good of a season, but I like it. It's just not that good. Yeah.
Well, my number 7, well, I'll go to 6 after because we've already talked about both of these ones. But my number 7 is Roanoke. I didn't hate it as much as you did. I actually thought the story was really interesting, and I liked the backstories of all the like people who've lived in the house. The only thing I liked it. I did like the season. I liked that it was like My Roanoke Nightmare, and then like the second one, like I like how it was 2 different. I don't know. I liked it personally.
Kathy Bates, honestly, I'm gonna be honest, she was so good in that season. I fucking loved her. She was some next bad bitch.
Yes, Kathy Bates
was running. She knew what she was doing.
Oh yeah,
that bitch was running the fucking show, and she like. I loved it. I loved like the scenes with her. Mm-hmm. Doesn't she have sex with like Matt?
No, that's Lady Gaga.
Oh, I forgot that she was in Roanoke too. Shit. I wish she was.
Anyways,
that would have been so cool.
I know, but she does too much. Speaking of Lady Gaga again, my number 6 is Hotel, which I also think I would change right now. But I think I put it there.
If you were to change it, then what number would you put it to?
I would put it at 5 compared to what's in my 5. But I liked Hotel because, again, like I wasn't expecting it to be what it was. When it first came out, I was like, I'm not watching this. This is lame. I don't like this. Whatever. So I didn't watch it again until like November. And it was really good, and I really liked it. And it's actually like I said, like my top 4 are they fluctuate often depending on my mood, but they are all my favorite. And number 5 is like my next down. So if I were to move Hotel, it'd be to number 5 because it's the best after all of my favorites. What is your number 5?
Number 5, Murder House. I honestly haven't finished it yet.
Really? You need to get into it.
Okay, you know what? I'm going to admit they're taking Desperate Housewives off of Amazon Prime, so I've been watching that for the last week.
Interesting.
it's important that I finish it. It's important that I finish it.
Okay.
And then after that, I will be finishing. I have like 2 shows to finish. I have to finish Dynasty, and I have to finish
American Horror Story. And you need to watch 1984 and all of the other stuff you haven't finished. So why Murder House 5? It's about halfway.
Oh shit, no, that ain't it. No. I meant to say Apocalypse. What the fuck is going on? Apocalypse. I started watching that, and let me tell you, I'm just like watching it, and I'm just like, what the fuck is going on? The world is ending. The witches are coming. What?
Yeah.
I was like, huh? Michael Langdon's
exactly
here.
it.
Like, what's going on? What is happening right now? Like, huh? What is going on? I don't like this.
So you were just confused.
Yes, I was very just confused.
So how much of it did you watch?
I got to episode 6.
That's not bad. Which one is the return? Which one is the Return to Murder House episode?
Oh shit! No,
6,
what?
Right?
What? Yeah, I think so. Okay, I think I fell asleep for episode 7 and 8 because I'm mid watching episode 6 still, and that's what it says on my thing. But yeah, I like Murder House so far. No, okay, Apocalypse. I'm getting so confused because there's so many. My brain is malfunctioning.
Okay, don't malfunction.
I don't know. I just couldn't get into it. It was so confusing. I'm like, the witches are coming. The world's ending. Michael Langdon's here. What the fuck is gonna, like, what else are we doing? What is this?
Okay, we'll talk more on Apocalypse later. My number 5 is Coven. The first time I watched it, I only made it to episode episode 6 or 7, and I didn't finish it, and I waited like years and years and years and years, and I finished it, and it wasn't the worst season ever, but it wasn't my favorite either. I understand the hype just because it's witches and it's cool and whatever, but I
feel like witchcraft and like all that shit is so like more popular these days. Do you notice that? Like, do you ever see like any of that like spiritual shit on TikTok? It's like, what the fuck? When did this all start? Like, huh?
It was the same thing on Tumblr though, like way back in 2014.
Like, yeah.
And I was gonna say something else about Coven. Oh, there were too many storylines to follow.
It fucking confused the shit out of me. I was like, what the fuck?
Like every single person in that season had a different storyline that you needed to understand what was happening at the same time as somebody else's. It was just a little too much for my brain, and well, short-term memory loss a little bit.
Okay, Dory from Finding Nemo.
Yeah.
Packing up Dory.
That's exactly what I am.
Oh, I went to go see that movie and I cried. I cried when she found her family.
I watched it on Netflix and I cried.
Did you cry when she found her family too?
Yeah. I'm a little baby. I cry at like almost every movie I watch.
I am a crybaby. I cry for no reason.
Yeah, me too.
So this is my 4th?
Yeah.
Okay. 4th would be Asylum. It just seemed like it would it's like hard to get into. Like, I don't really understand it. And like, I feel like there's just so much going on, and it's just, I don't fuck with it. I watched it in like grade 7, and that was many years ago. So I don't remember, but I just don't fuck with that season. I don't know what it is. I just don't fuck with it.
So my number 4, this is where it starts getting, I think I would change my number 4 to my number 2 right now, but my number 4 is Cult. Fabulous season, wonderful season. I did not like one thing about that season. Everything about that season was perfect.
It was immaculate.
That's why I would change it to number 2 right now, because I think right now it is my second favorite. I'm sure we'll have more on that later though.
So my number 3 is Murder House. I've come to like her. I didn't like her before, but now that I'm like watching it, and I'm just like, I'm watching it again, and I'm just like, wow, this is actually better than I remembered. It's really good.
My number 3 is Freak Show. It was one of the first seasons that I actually finished all the way through.
I honestly, for me, I love that season. Like Freak Show. Honestly, I'm gonna be honest, Freak Show was one of the first seasons I watched. I watched it with Natalie. And I remember I liked it. I honestly, when they killed Dandy, I honestly missed a couple episodes, but then I was just like, fuck it, I'm just gonna finish it. I'm watching the last episode. So I didn't really know what was going on. And then when Dandy, when like they were drowning him, I started crying. And I was like, why did they kill him? What the fuck is this shit? I was so upset.
Yeah, me too. He was one of my favorite characters. I love Dandy. Like, he's been one of my favorite American Horror Story characters. At some point in the season, he wears like a blue sweater like this, and that's why I wore this. Anyways, I just seem to like all the villains, and I don't know what that's about, but
my number 2 is Freak Show. I literally
knew that was coming.
How much I love that season, but I love that season so much. Everything about it
says it's boring, and I'm like, no, it's not boring.
Honey, no. It's fucking good. Amazing. What is your number 2?
My number 2 is Murder House, which I said I would probably change to Cult, but Murder House is just a classic. Like, I watched it for the first time in like 2012. Me and my friend like binge watched the whole DVD, and I fell in love with it. And I was like, this is everything.
You fell in love with it.
Yeah, like it's everything to me. And 2 years ago, when I was in California, I visited the Murder House, and it was like I just loved it. Everything was so good.
We should go together, because if I fly out there, it's not that far of a drive. That's true. Know that, right?
Yeah, I know. We drove from here, so I know how long it is.
How long is it?
It's about a day if you drive the whole way, but we stopped a couple times. But yeah, it's like a whole day.
We should go together.
Mm-hmm. They're filming there right now at the Murder House. Very excited. That was my number 2. Yeah, Murder House.
My number 1. It'll always be my number 1. Is Cult. Cult was one of the very first seasons of any show I've ever watched that I was so deeply invested in. Like, every single episode that I watched of it, I was just like, it fucking had me hooked the first episode. I was watching it, and I like the first minute, I was like, oh my god, I love this. I already love this. And then when Evan and Billy were like doing the scene together where he had his like blue hair, and then he like had like the Cheeto dust all over his face, like that, I was just like, I am really going to fall in love with this fucker this season, aren't I? And I did. I honestly, apart from Allie's crying 90% of every episode, I just love that fucking season so much. It was just genuinely like I could watch it over and over again and not get sick of it. I feel like I'm like that with Euphoria, and that's why I know every single fucking line of every single episode, because I've rewatched it 10 times. That's like watching every episode 100 times. So basically, I've seen 100 of the same episodes of Euphoria, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Cult is just like, I don't know. It was the same way for me. Like, I fell in love with it as soon as I knew what the premise of the season was, and like, I started watching it when it came out, and I was scared, to be quite honest with you. Like, I was scared. So I only got 2 episodes in. And then I watched it again when I was in California 2 years ago, because they have Netflix. They have it on Netflix there. So that's what we were watching in our hotel room. And I just love that. Like, that's when I finished it, and I just loved it so much. It was so good. Absolute banger of a season.
I loved it.
My number 1 is Apocalypse. That's an unpopular opinion. What can I even say? I can't even explain it. I've always loved apocalyptic movies. Like, I love zombie movies like World War Z and all of that kind of stuff, and I love the thought of it. I've always had my like apocalypse plan in the back of my head. So the apocalypse season is great fitting for me. Cody Fern, Michael Langdon on top of that, Sexiest Man Alive, of course it's going to be my favorite season. Michael Langdon is my favorite character of the entire American Horror Story series. I love him so incredibly much. Season 8, episode 8 is my favorite episode of any American Horror Story episode ever. It's wonderful. Everything is good. I love it so much. I love that it incorporates Murder House and Coven, and I got to see all of my favorite people in one season, except for Finn Whitrock, of course. But other than that, it was a fabulous season. I love every character. I love every scene. I love every moment. It is never a dull moment. And since watching it, I think I've seen it probably 20 times all the way through. So yeah, that's that on that.
That's that on that.
I'm glad we made it through.
Me too.
Do you have anything else to say? Are we just done
here?
Oh
my god, the segment.
Oh, our segment. Okay. Aria has a new segment she would like to introduce to the podcast.
So it has to do with Pete Davidson, everybody. We are also getting a divorce right now.
Why would you put a segment out about him?
Because it's called What's Peter Doing This Week? So it's been a couple weeks since we filmed. So here's the grand Pete update. Pete Davidson moved out of his mom's house in Staten Island. He bought his own condo for $1.2 million, and he lives in Staten Island above near the water. Him, Timothy, and Kid Cudi had a new skit that came out on SNL last week. I think it was last week. They were all playing the flute and stuff. He looks good playing the flute. We're in the middle of getting a divorce. He's dating that bitch from Bridgerton, and I don't like it. And I don't want to talk about it. It's not something I'd like to discuss right now. It's very hard for me. I knew it was coming, but as long as he's happy, I am happy. But I don't like this at all.
It's really good that both of our celebrity crushes are friends.
Wait, who's what?
Timothy Chalamet.
Oh God. Oh yes.
I love him. Sorry, you said his name and I kind of my gears stopped.
I was like, she's doing something over there.
Yeah. Well, I love that for Peter.
I don't know. I'm kind of weaning myself off of Pete, and I'm weaning myself back onto Callum Hunt more than.
Good choice.
I know, he's my home screen now.
Oh.
He's so hot. I can't.
I've got a good old Bucky Barnes happening. I'm back on my Marvel shit.
You him on your spam. Who the fuck is that?
He's Bucky Barnes.
Who?
You don't watch Marvel movies?
I don't. No.
You should. They're good.
Trisha, you have to understand. I watch the same movies over and over again.
I do too. I just finished watching Captain America movies for the first time. I'd never seen them before.
I watched Coraline, Step Brothers, Corpse Bride, The Nightmare Before Christmas, and Mid-90s, and The Dirt over and over again. With the occasional exception of some random movie and Harold and Kumar Go to White Castle.
Interesting choices.
I love that movie.
Well, maybe one day make your random movie an Avengers movie or something.
I want to watch all the Little Mermaid movies.
Oh my God, I love Little Mermaid too.
I haven't watched that one yet, but I will.
That is my favorite one.
So are we finished?
Yeah, we're done. That's it.
We're done.
You did your Pete segment. We talked about all of our American Horror Story opinions, and that's that, I guess. So I guess we're signing off.
We'll be back next week.
Hopefully. I'm sure we will.
Yeah.
We'll try our hardest.
We will try.
All right. Goodbye.
I hate when you do this.
Okay. Goodbye.